We might have a few others join us along the way, so. Can we stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's see. And you're all here for an application, correct?
Correct.
Can I get an approval of the minutes from January?
I will move to approve the minutes from January.
My second them.
Please.
Second them.
You sure can.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Perfect. Let's see, any news from the development? Oh, we have a privilege of the floor. If anyone wants to talk about something not on the agenda, now's the time. Sweet. Report from the development office.
Just trudging along. It seems like it's gonna be a nice, easy month.
You just jinxed yourself. I think.
No, nothing major.
Well, today was deadline day, so.
But today was today was deadline day.
So, let's see, any referrals from the town board? None that I know of.
Hmm.
I know they've continued the German Brothers till March.
Hmm.
Oh, I believe we're on the agenda at some point in February. The town board's meeting twice a month now, and they're having the different boards and committees come in and give a report. So I'm not exactly sure, but Chuck Euler told me we're on for February at some point. So I'm like, I guess I will have to ask one of the town board members when that is.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to take off the CIC, sorry.
Yeah, that's probably and that's anybody's guess at this
Yeah.
point, I think.
I was an autopilot when I was doing
Yeah.
the agenda, so. Ordinance committee, Dave Sauter, one of the other board members has just become the chair for that. Like I said, I happened last night. So they're talking about minimum square footage for residents, accessory dwelling units. And let's see, they have form-based code transparency on their agenda. So they may talk about any of those on Monday. They're meeting Monday morning. Or they may just talk about short-term rentals, because that seems to be a hot topic now. So let's see. I think we're up to the referrals. And Walter Turek. I don't think anybody's here for that one.
So that one, they asked for an extension.
Did they? We've seen that before.
We've seen.
Did
it
they ask for another
before.
extension?
Yeah, I think they did because they're, they worry about the variances. I think they asked for an
They
extension.
haven't done the variance interpretation yet, have they?
Nope.
So we can just hold on that one until after
Okay.
that. It had gotten referred to us, so I'm happy to push it off for another month. Of course, I think we're up to your project. I'll bring it up, but if you want to introduce it while I'm bringing up cloud permit, please do.
We're all here for that.
Oh, the same one? Okay.
Yeah, and I can give you kind of the overview on it and answer any questions. The team, any one of us can probably fill in any gaps. So we're working with Dan Wegman on his lake house. I was actually here in late 19 early 2020, right, with the same project. And essentially he would like to build a tennis court. The Wegmans would like to build a tennis court on their site. Their site is about 3.3 acres plus or minus, and they, where we are planning to put the court is kind of in a very inconspicuous location relative to the lake, which is one of the positives about the project. If you scroll through, I think.
Do you have a particular sheet you want me to go to?
Yeah, I think the right, if you go,
Please go back.
To the rendering?
Yeah, if you go
Okay.
back to the attachments, there will be a perspective drawing,
but not that, we don't want.
Not that one.
top, the very.
The very
of your
top
screen.
drawing.
Right there, yep, there you go.
So this will be easier to see.
Okay,
Um. So, this has. You know, you can see where the tennis court is, so it's at the kind of the north end of the property, up high, about 60 feet above the lake. And, it is the buffer there that you see.
one moment, I think I forgot to share this.
Sure.
Sorry, Gary. I'm a little behind on that.
Okay, so I'll recap, so essentially, we're coming back with a project that was approved in early 2020, but it was right at the time COVID hit and the Wegmans decided not to proceed, and there's, complications with contractors and everything else. So they asked us to, given that the time had expired, we have to go back through the process. And so we're here for that purpose, and essentially, it's the almost identical project that we presented in late 19, early 20. It's essentially for the tennis court. And again, this is on a 3.3 acre site. And the nice thing about it is because the tennis court is 60 feet above the lake, plus or minus, it's behind the grove of trees that's on the embankment that goes down to the lake. So from the lake, it will not be visible because of the trees. And we've also done an extensive job of screening and planting between the court and the road, and on the south side of the court, all that dark green surrounding the court is planting areas that we're doing. Some other, interesting things about the project, we're doing 3 rain gardens with the project for drainage purposes. Garth has designed infiltration chamber kind of design for picking up the court itself and some of the driveway drainage. And so we're taking doing a good job of managing stormwater. The other things that we are doing is just that we're actually tucking the south end of the court kind of into grade a bit and berming up around it. You can see a lot of contour lines at the south end. And the reason for that is we're trying to tuck the court into grade as well as do the planting. So doing our due diligence on making sure stormwater is working well, planting's working well, preserving the existing trees on the slopes so they provide our natural buffer, and trying to tuck the court in to the site and kind of keep it out of the way and view of the lake. And so that's essentially the high level kind of run through the project. So we're going to next week, no, the 20th, we go to zoning board. We have to get a variance because in the interpretation, the court is considered an accessory structure, and we have already existing garages make us we're going to be over with the court on accessory structures. And so we have to get a variance for that. And then we have to get a variance for lot coverage. We're at 28% plus or minus. The allowable is 25. But, the thing about this property is it's 3.3 acres. And our coverage right now is about 28,000 square feet. And that's on 145,000 square foot parcel. So, over 2.6 acres is green and, the 0.6 and change is the impervious, the buildings and the court and so on. So it's one of the, in terms of frontage, it's one of the greener frontages on the lake because it's its length and the wooded hillside. And again, even though we are over on coverage, if you look at it relative to a lot this size, it's quite green relative to many parcels on this lake. So that's again, what I, kind of an overview. We can answer any questions you have. Just let us know what your thoughts are.
So I think from 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, that was our main concern, and you guys had a pretty amazing landscape plan put in place for when we were looking at this, because that was
Right.
obviously up front as well as
Right.
the drainage, so that seems to be
Yeah.
coming along. Has the plantings and stuff already commenced at the site, or?
Not yet, but we have the same concept for this round. It's essentially the same planting beds. We're planting predominantly native trees.
That was a plant I said.
We, again, we did a ton of planting when they did their addition a few years back. And the site is really lush right now. Not right now, but it's pretty wintry out there, dormant, but it's still heavily planted, and we're gonna do the same kind of style. Our intent is to do the same kind of style going up around the court. So, we've done a ton of planting on the property over the years.
And then I guess I can't remember if last time it was discussed as far as I'm pretty sure it still was looking for the coverage variance. Was there partial pathways that were being removed to offset that last time or not, or was that a discussion?
There was some of that. We're taking the same strategy essentially. And we've actually, when we originally conceived this project, we actually had a pavilion
Right.
involved. That was not approved. So we
It
took,
was a multi-story structure.
we took that out. It was a shade pavilion for the court, but we took it out because it was not approved by the zoning board. And so we don't have that anymore. We have a little courtside sitting area. But our coverages are very similar. We're a fraction higher than we were. I think we were at 26.9. We're at 28% on this scheme. And so it's slightly different, and that is due to the fact that the Wegmans did some improvements down, little things around the boathouse, and so it's not, but the project is almost identical.
And then I guess the other thing I would have is for the stormwater management, when you get a chance to actually look at the engineering drawings. What is it designed for? Like what period of event? Is it a 100-year storm?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then I know like one of our main focuses is when it comes to lot variances for coverage, at least, like if there's any way for that to comply with the current standards, whether it's possible or not. We always advocate for that. Not so much the hard sense of that percentage, but when there's places where it can be borrowed to offset that, obviously to get it down to that number, that's much appreciated by the town.
One of the things I will point out that we did the coverages like with great detail, and we actually had conversation with the zoning department, and we actually have a large area on the south side of the main house. You can see it. It's the kind of grayish color on the south side. It's all gravel, literally gravel, not crushed stone. So it truly
Some infiltration
percolates
is happening.
almost, it percolates, I'd say 85 to 100, maybe even 100%. So we didn't count any of that as pervious. We counted it all as impervious. I think it's close to 3,000 square feet.
Okay, so that's good.
So if you again, a different perception of that material would be that we actually would be close to the 25% with, if we looked at that, what it's truly doing. When it rains on that surface, it goes down. So, so all that said, you know, I know we're, you know, kind of following the letter of the regulations, we included that. So, you know, we are coming in
Right.
because we need to, because that's what the regs say.
Yeah, and I know that's an ongoing debate within the town of
Yeah,
kind of crediting the impervious areas if it's still
yeah.
in motion, I guess, right? Correct.
Yeah, gravel still counts as
Yeah.
impervious,
Yeah, 'cause
so,
I know
yeah.
there's a lot of interpretation. So for example, if you use crusher run limestone and you compact it, it mostly runs off. Pea gravel, which that is, it perks and goes right through.
Is there
So
underlayment or membrane underneath it or anything?
I think there's just a, like a fabric type material and then compacted, it's got a, you know, subgrade, but it doesn't run anything off, is what I'm telling you. It just hits the gravel and goes down, or it sits there and then percolates.
So the idea is with that, as well as some of the rain gardens that are being implemented on top of
Yeah.
that would offset into that gray area.
That's what our philosophy is. And again, the other thing again about this site, you're talking about 28% of 3.3 acres. So when we have 117,000 square feet of green pervious on this site, which is, you know, as you know, it's 2.6 acres plus or minus. So it's a little different than this on a, you know, a 25,000 or 30,000 square foot lot. It's a very different story here.
Thank you.
Sure.
We do appreciate rain gardens.
Absolutely.
And especially the engineered catchments and stuff, that
Yeah.
go, especially in the
Yep.
steep slope areas,
No.
where part of that is situated.
We're doing all of that here to kind of contain the runoff from the drive in the court.
And I don't believe any of it it has to worry about the steep slope lot or anything like that.
No,
Among the
it's-
disturbance, it's fine.
Yeah.
A very attractive landscaping plan for sure. There was some reference to some selective tree cutting. Is that correct?
There's a couple trees along the existing, there's some trees along the existing driveway that we planted in the last improvements of the property. We're gonna have to remove some of those. Some of them we're gonna try to transplant, but they're primarily right along the existing driveway.
Sounds like your planned plantings will offset those losses.
Yes, by significant margin. Yeah,
Now, will the court have lighting or anything?
they're still working through that. I think they're gonna wait and see on that. If they do decide that down the road, we'd come back in and let you know what we're doing, but it would all be, we have it right on the drawing. If they ever decide to do it, which it's unknown right now, but they ever decide to do it, we have a statement right on the plans that it'll be, fully dark sky compliant, cutoff lighting. And that's the way we always do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful plan.
Edith, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you have any comments?
No, I'm sorry to have been delayed. I was having difficulty with my computer connecting from here because since I have not joined the meeting from Kansas before, and it was denying access. So no, I have nothing to add to what's been said. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have a lot of comments more.
No, I have none.
Appreciate the effort that went into
Yes,
it.
definitely.
Yeah.
It looks like a nice plan.
It does, absolutely.
It should work out well. Hopefully we'll get it constructed this time.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. No pandemic there.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking to us.
So when we have our minutes, we'll upload them to your,
our site.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You as well.
Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you. That was really.
That one was really nice looking.
Mhm.
Let's see. Have another guest here.
We should make those rendering our standard from now on.
There you go.
The site plans were harder to look at.
This is our 5 and 20.
Yeah.
Are you for the 5 and 20 as
So
well?
it's gonna be
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just
Okay.
trying to figure
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
who was here. So we'll skip
This
around
is,
and do the ones that people are here for
Yeah.
first. Would you like to
Sure,
share about that?
just did this today and I can upload it
Oh,
tomorrow.
perfect.
Great.
Yes, if you can upload it, that would be.
Yeah.
great.
So it's essentially a pre-approved pad site on 5 and 20. It was part of this whole overall development with the hotel. I believe it was approved, I have the approval drawings from 07, 08. And essentially we've kept the same design. It kind of fits in there with the outlet and the setbacks off of 5 and 20. The building is 100 square feet smaller than what was approved. It's going to be 2-tenant medical use. The parking, let me go back. The original SWIP was developed for the whole 3 parcels
Okay.
with the
Ah.
retention pond
Mhm.
in the rear. We looked up that stormwater permit. It actually, the hotel closed the permit in 2020. But we would, submit a new SWIP. We have prepared one. So what is happening is everything is draining to the bioretention rain garden areas. There's no curb, so it just sheet flows into there. And then there is a discharge here and will continue to the stormwater management facility. Landscape, we're adding landscape. Most of the material we've provided is native. We put the dumpster enclosure kind of in the front. It's gonna be screened. I think we're like 700, we're down 754 feet off of 5 and 20 with some vegetation in between. So I don't think there will be an issue with it. There were some renderings from the architect. It's more of a modern.
Do you have something you wanted me to open?
Let's see. Exterior, yeah,
Perspective
yeah, we
drawings?
do the perspective drawings.
That's,
So that gives you the look.
Yeah, that's very
If
nice.
you go back, it gives you the kind of the color palette was more neutral,
Mhm.
earth tone colors. There are some state wetlands. We had them delineated, earth dimensions delineated them.
Mhm.
Up in the front, there's essentially a drainage ditch through here. And then off of the outlet. That has not changed per the previous determination.
Mhm.
So we have the 100-foot buffer both ways and we are out of that area.
So no changes in the wetland delineation when we went back out there.
There was a little more increase on this one, but this one remained the same.
Okay.
So
Outside.
within the drawings, we have all the wetland 100-foot buffers.
When I didn't get a chance to check, but any earthwork or whatever, that'll be not anywhere in that area would occur.
Will not touch, will not disturb the buffer. There's a floodplain. Floodplain kind of comes up in a weird shape. We are impacting the floodplain, I think by 50 cubic yards. And we have offset that in this area with, I think the cut was 66, part of our cut fill analysis on the
Okay.
floodplain. So we provided that mitigation.
So this, with the stormwater, it all runs up to that
So the-
north, I guess I would say.
Yep, yep. So there's under drain here, the overflow pipes, and they all run to here, and then we'll continue through
Mhm.
the existing system.
I guess who's responsible for the maintenance of, I guess, the treatment area before it goes into your lake?
This facility,
Yeah,
I have to go back and look at. I know that. With the 3 parcels in the deed, it's all a shared agreement that has been established for both the drive facilities. A lot of the utilities
okay.
with
So any vegetation or repairs or whatever, it gets shared between. would be
Yeah.
Shared between the
the
3.
different parties. Yep.
Now on the backside of your, or the east.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that gonna be grass or are you going to have that be?
That will be stabilized. There's a emergency egress.
Mhm.
As tight as it could to the building. There is a deed restriction to the height of the building from the hotel.
Oh, okay.
So the building will, it's, I think 15 feet. So the mechanicals are gonna have to be relocated or located in the rear. But the rest, I think I kept the grades pretty tight coming down to meet existing as fast as we could. We'll stabilize that and the rest will be natural vegetation.
Okay,
And I guess same question I kind of asked earlier for the drainage, you're just based on sheet flow into the bioretention you have currently on site, is that
Yep.
for a 100-year
That's
event?
for
or-
the 100-year,
Okay.
yep,
Or every summer event, basically?
yes, you're right, yeah.
yes.
The downpours
It-
of
it
the-
is. I did notice you had forsythia in your landscaping. You probably wanna change that one out. That one can actually run through woodland and you're pretty close to wild areas. So
Yeah.
you can change that one out. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Gary, did you have any comments?
No, I think my questions I had were answered with, Justin and the presenter's discourse, so I don't have any other concerns.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have nothing to add.
The only other one, I guess, is like for parking spot, I mean, is that based off of,
So the parking spot, because of the zoning area.
I know that's been updated since that's what I've.
Yeah, so I think the way the code was written, it's based on need essentially. So this is all based off the current condition,
Okay.
current traffic
Mhm.
IT.
Mhm.
Um,
Did John want to chime in?
John, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. I was just couldn't make it in there, but watching Evan here, so I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate native plants,
Mhm.
dark sky compliant for any of your lighting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
Uh,
yep, so we do that in-house and
Yes.
we have all the lighting specs.
I think it's a great place for a little medical
Yeah.
office building.
Do you have your tenants identified?
One of them we have for sure, the other one, we're still working through that.
Mhm.
We need more primary care providers.
Yeah,
Everyone says that.
yeah.
And they're all correct.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think I have too much else. Yeah, any native plants that you can include.
sure.
Yeah, and then I don't know if there's a plan or not for if it's about retention or whatever, just upkeep of that, or if it's just gonna be grass that's mowed, that's. I don't know, that's generally frowned upon, but if it's a little more active with different layers of vegetation, that's appreciated.
I have some vegetation in there, some of the upkeep, some of the native plants. I'm a landscape architect, so some of the, where we started to where we are now with having to implement these in a lot of different places, especially more, let's say, with all the parking and asphalt and impervious.
Mhm.
We have a good list of what works and what doesn't. I like to use more of the stone cobbles to give it some of the help with the maintenance.
I'm guessing it's gonna be salted too, so that's gotta play into what you're gonna be putting.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Sometimes the planning board will ask you about handicap spots. They'll ask you about EV charging. So any of those things, if you want to think about it before you get there.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep. They will definitely ask you about the handicap parking spots. So
Okay.
I believe it's in code. I don't know.
I
what it
think it's
is.
10% of the parking.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So definitely make sure you have that.
Okay.
Yes, certainly for medical buildings.
Yep.
That's,
Right.
Hi, Eric.
First Thursday of the month, have to place it once.
There you go.
We were just gonna be finishing up this one. Did you have any comments? This was the medical office building on 5 and 20.
No, it's a great plan.
Thanks, Jeff. Good spot for it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
And I'll upload this tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Thank you, you as well.
And we're all here, isn't that awesome?
It is, So we had passed on this one, just so you know. This one's going for an extension, and it's also going to the zoning board for a variance interpretation.
Okay.
So. And we did this one, they had come in, it was the Wegmans tennis court, so we had done that one already. We're up to New Michigan. This was a subdivision. Mike, did you have any info on this one?
I don't know, I think Kristen worked on that one, that's not Dave Emery, is it?
No,
No. It's right on the corner
yep,
of New
Okay,
Michigan and County Road 30. Just two big lots.
Yep.
Why are we seeing that?
it was farmland,
Huh?
so I think it's getting,
We just automatically see it when it's farmland?
I believe so.
Okay.
Acre woodland right next to it too.
Edith's next to it.
yes, I am. Very familiar territory.
Yeah.
They're just dividing it.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 lots.
Yeah.
I will put on the ag committee hat and say it's a loss of farmland.
Well,
It is a loss of farmland. It's if you're interested in 3 square meals a day, you hate to see too much farmland go, but
yeah.
there you go.
This one is just north of the new.
The new one that we saw before. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to
No.
say the not the strategic farmland, or but the new
PDA.
agricultural overlay.
Yeah.
That one, it's northbound is County Road 30, so
Mhm.
this is north of that. I think if it's just like a house, because we know from the one that was the other side of Edith, that the aquifer is not very.
It's not wonderful. It's pretty shallow.
Yeah. I
doesn't
don't,
recharge very quickly.
and I don't believe they have public water at all.
No, there is no public water from Yerkes north to County Road 30 to North Bloomfield Road.
I think they said the one lot would have public, and the other one would have to be a well.
Hmm.
Is that possible?
I don't,
Is there
I
one on
don't,
County Road 30?
they,
They should show on the plan if there's water out
it
there.
should show if there's a water line, but
Should
to my
show.
knowledge, there is no water line that goes from Yerkes on up to
Right.
the County Road 30. The one on the corner, County Road 30 may have water.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Mhm. But it would not be coming up New Michigan.
No.
So I would just say that, you know, they can't be like
Note that, yes. I
putting
would note
multiple houses in this
that.
location.
Yes, it would,
It's probably AR, is it AR2 anyway? Is that the
It-
zoning or no? What's
Either
the zoning
AR
out there? I think it's down. Come down, go
Down.
down. Right there, zoning.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 acres, 2 acre minimum, so.
mhm.
So for now, just 2 lots.
Yeah. Don't have a lot to say because it's just a subdivision, but definitely probably not more than 2 houses, nothing commercial.
Mhm. Yes, and if we get plans for houses later on, we need to tell them, plant a windbreak to the west.
Definitely. This is one of the worst
That
spots I
road,
drive.
Yeah.
It drifts there like,
Oh, yeah.
yes, okay,
So many whiteouts there,
Mhm.
there are.
so. Anyone else have any comments?
Mm-mm.
Nothing else here. Cool pond on lot 1.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, with many, many geese,
I was gonna
Yes.
say geese love it there,
Mhm.
highly populated with geese, yes.
Mhm.
so. I noticed they got a little jig jog that comes out to County Road 30.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um,
Well, maybe they would access water through that if they accept that it's going to have to go bypass the pond if they are putting the house next to New Michigan,
Hard to say.
but wait and see, yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
not much more I can say, so. Anyone else?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
We'll move on. Next. Did that.
Lakeview Lane.
Lakeview Lane. Mike, do you know about this one?
Yes, tear down and rebuild. He is staying on the exact footprint.
Mhm.
It's just an old house. He just wanted to, and he's, the owner is actually the architect on this, so. his
Yeah,
plans
he
were
did his own
impeccable.
plan, yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Oh,
I noticed that they were knocking out some trees. They're taking out 4 trees. I don't know if it says what kinds they are.
willows.
Willows, all right.
Hmm.
Willows do drink a lot of water.
And his
They
neighbor
do.
asked him to take them too. He's like, please make sure you take those trees.
The one is pretty big.
Yeah, it's 21 inches.
There was a nice graphic of the
Yeah.
lake. That's in the like miscellaneous category. I don't know if it's that one or,
I'll try it.
yeah, that's really helps you place it.
So they still have this noted, but I think they were taking that out per their
The
plan.
maple tree stays,
Yeah.
See, they're taking that one out.
yeah,
So I think they need to update their drawing because they still have that willow in there. Down here. I think they're gonna wanna be careful doing their construction. Cause it is pretty tight and they're going to have to avoid root zones for the trees.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
And if they can plant some other trees on their property. And I would really suggest leaving this first willow,
Mhm.
the one that's on the lakeside. That's shown in their graphic.
Yes, it would. Mhm. It would certainly soften the view from the lake. It'd be
Correct.
good. Mhm.
Anybody have any comments? Did this one need any variances at all, Mike?
No, actually, it didn't. He already had variances when the house was built that were granted. So at first they did need variances, then when we reviewed the old files, he already had gotten variances, so. That's why he's following the same exact footprint. It's out of the
Yeah,
envelope, but he's staying on it.
Mhm.
He's actually reducing in some spots, so it's gonna be less of a non-conformity.
Okay,
Mhm. That's good.
Mhm.
They will have to be very careful with their trees and the neighbors' trees when they are clearing the old house and constructing the new one though. So those root zones are going to be really close.
definitely.
Yeah.
So I would say, avoid taking that first willow out, the one that's on the lake. Replant some native trees someplace on their property to kind of try and offset the ones that they're removing. Anyone else?
no,
Joseph,
No,
Gary?
Nothing else here.
Well, I guess that's about it for that one. They do have some nice coverage from the lake there. So
Mhm.
they're really gonna wanna watch that maple tree in there.
Yes.
And then the last one was Island View Drive.
Mhm.
You know about this one, Mike?
Yes. So this one was tricky. Half of his, well, a quarter of his lot is on city property. The boundary goes diagonal through it. So we had to work on that with Chris Nadler. The conclusion was that the whole lot is to be taken into consideration. So anything over the city line, we don't have to deal with. So setbacks for the pool to the city boundary, the city has to worry about. Even though it goes over our town boundary. And I was like, so he gets a zero setback, unless a variance, he goes, nope. Alright, so we went back and forth with this for a long time. So, but he does need lot coverage variance because he is going, over 8.2%.
This is a small lot, right?
Yes. And you can see the city property. It
the city
has,
line going right
yeah, it
through.
has
Yeah.
way too much stuff covering that. With their coverage, but they took it all into consideration and they actually sent us, do what you want, which. They're like,
Okay,
we don't care, but
and how much is he over on his coverage?
8.2%.
You can probably take out a walkway and make it,
Mhm.
Can you scroll down for the actual pool and everything around it?
just a minute.
There we go, there we go. There it is.
That would be my suggestion on these small lots to take out a walkway or, you know, just,
reduce the footprint of the patio of it.
or, yeah,
Mhm.
Unless
just
it
trim-
has to do with like
Mhm.
ADA compliance or anything.
Well, there's a hot tub pad there now, they're connecting the concrete to it. Where they could have easily just moved it down to that pad and moved and did the pool a little differently. Instead of having it on there, it would save a lot. Would have been off the setback lines, it would have been under coverage, but
Oh, instead of crossing over the city.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. The zoning board might suggest that
Mhm.
anyway.
Seems like there's some practical solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, that would be my suggestion,
Yeah.
is just reduce down some of the
Mhm.
coverage. I mean, they don't have to reduce it that much
No.
to stay within.
You can see the top part of the concrete patio is quite extensive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Not necessary.
exactly. So all they're doing is putting in the pool in the patio area.
Mm, patio. Mm.
What is that little feature up by the garage there,
Up here,
the little polygon to the right of it?
This,
Yeah.
oh, that. Well, that was the alternate pool location. That's all in the city.
Yeah, but in the city, we don't care.
definitely add some shrubbery on the lakeside. I don't know if they've got a,
Maybe they're taking out any yard for that, or-
I don't believe they are.
go back,
If you look at the encore of it, you can see
okay,
his main issue for putting this in is the area he's in at the lake is shallow, weedy, filthy, people can't swim in it, and he rents that. So we have to have a pool.
That's where all the seagulls visit too, I'm
Mhm.
sure, in the water.
this is a short-term rental.
Yes,
Hmm.
so is the garage that's on the city, has an apartment upstairs, and he has a house right next door.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
And it goes right through, that line goes right through his living room.
Mhm.
So we don't need to worry about compliance with our short-term rental stuff, that stuff within. the
We're
city.
working on that,
Okay.
and he's not happy about it. Because we said we will give you a permit for the rooms on our side, not on the city side, and he's blowing gasket side.
Yeah, if it's just for rentals, I think it's an easy fix for him, if he's okay with just reducing that footprint.
Yeah.
Island View, right?
Yes.
Too many similar names.
Mhm.
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 Oh, lake was choppy that day.
Little foam on it, looks like. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that right by the park there, basically, or how far off is that? Am I completely out?
I don't. There we go. More.
Mhm.
The harbor.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't know, there's Yoki water right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would suggest some shrubbery on the lakeside. Help soften that view, however we can.
I think so.
And definitely try and reduce the impervious. It's not that much.
Mhm.
It's changing that patio around the pool should do it. Just a little bit.
That is a weird little touch.
Mhm. And this one's in two under here. It's right through.
How are they dealing any discharge from the pool? How are they handling that?
Not sure.
'Cause
And
they can't flow to the lake.
no, Mike Murphy was. looking
No.
at it, So.
Any other comments?
Oh,
Gary or Edith, anything else?
No, not from
No,
here.
They should, be held to the lot coverage standard, if at all possible.
Yes.
Eric, anything?
No, I just agree.
Okay,
hmm.
alrighty. Well, they won't like our comments either. No, he's struggling with short-term rental things right now. So I think that was the last one.
Yes.
So we are up to newsletter. Thank you, Edith and Patty, for the articles.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
the newsletter will go out Monday.
Mhm.
And February 23rd is the deadline for the March newsletter, so if anybody would like to submit anything.
I'm not gonna be submitting for that one, but so one of you gentlemen could come up with something,
Kayak in kind of a warm weather.
if you feel like it. Oh, well, Eric, you're doing the kayaking.
It's more of a warm-
Yes.
I was thinking May when the weather
Sure.
begins.
Yeah, so we're gonna need
good.
one
Get out.
for March.
No sense riding on snowshoeing. 'cause-
Not this winter.
We always had that last storm. It was here for,
Of all seasons of ice skiing stuff for my kids.
yeah, they'll be outgrowing it by next skiing season.
I'll volunteer for something for the March.
Okay.
sweater.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Good.
Yep, just send me your article and photos whenever you got them, and
Alrighty.
I'll put that in. Thank you so much. Let's see. Slide that over. Town hall display. I like the bird display, Edith.
Yep.
Thank you. I thought it'd be kind of fun. I wanted to get it up before I left for Kansas, so I kind of hustled it in a little quicker than I should have, I suppose. But
All's good.
Mhm.
I like it.
yes,
Are you going to do another one this winter, or are you just gonna do spring?
no, probably not. Probably spring is coming. I'll think
Okay.
about something, okay? Or if someone else wants to do an exhibit, that would be great too. You know, I'm always delighted when someone else takes turns, so please do. You are so inspired.
Okay.
That in mind.
Okay.
ECB plans, I had mentioned last time, was trying to encourage people to do some little projects for this year. They could look into an ordinance they'd like to propose, or a document they'd like to make for residents, or whatever, arranging a speaker, whatever you'd like. Did anybody have anything that they had thought of?
Well, I'm interested in like ponds and pond care and cattails and, but
Okay.
when you said speaker, who would the speaker be for? Like for our group to come in, or
Or you could arrange like, it
put
could be
something
like,
on our Facebook page
could
or a
be like a
video from
public-
somebody?
yeah, I was thinking like you could arrange somebody to come in and talk. And we could hold it, it could be a public event.
Okay,
We could, and they could connect via Zoom, so they don't actually have to really be here even too,
Hmm,
if that makes it easier. But just something to kind of make a positive,
yeah,
so yeah.
let's figure out how to do that.
Hans could also be creating information for our residents too, so like a document, or if you want to get a speaker to come in, that would be great.
You know, there's some stuff in DC, I know when I contacted them about like Just building it back in our farm pond, if
Yeah.
I need to do anything special, I came across some stuff, but.
I think that Country Max has a pond expert that works with them or works there or. I'll explore that a little
I
bit.
bought a few plants from them for my little pool that I turned into a fishery this past year, so.
My pond's a froggery.
Means you'll have freeze there soon.
I did have, like, not last summer, but the summer before, she sat out there and she was eating and
Cranes
eating
or
and eating.
herons or whatever else
Yeah,
wants to
one
chow.
crane, and it was just
They're big.
enjoying it. They are very large.
They make herons look tiny. Anyone else have any ideas?
Gonna make some time to. Sure.
It can be as big or as little as people want. It's just something to try and move things forward. Gary?
Well, I wonder about looking at the variances that are granted, which, are of environmental concern. I think in the past we talked about or asked whether someone is monitoring, the ZBA's granting of variances and, which ones are high on the list. And maybe that's already being done and maybe that data goes to the ordinance committee that then looks at, geez, does it make sense? This particular lot coverage standard or setback standard, given the fact that and again, this is in certain districts that we're granting variances continuously. But maybe that's, again, something which is already being looked at, but, it certainly is something that we seem to address and struggle with a lot. And, but maybe it's beyond the purview of our committee. Unless it was something, again, that was of particular environmental concern and something that we felt strong about.
Are you suggesting trying to look at that information or come up with a?
Well, yeah, if
Yeah,
it's
I'd
already
like-
being.
It'd be
being done.
interesting.
Yeah. I think Sarah Linda talked about this when she was on the committee.
Oh, yeah.
But does anybody know? Is that data available? Where are the variances being granted and what
Well,
period?
They're discussing it like with the east side of the lake, I think, and.
Yeah.
Kicked
Yeah.
off the meetings or talks of a different district or whatever for that. Cause it was just every time we were here, it was the same thing.
Yep.
over.
Well, their minutes are all on E-code. I finished that today.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that would have whether they approved or denied anything. I don't know of a great way to look for that information. I don't think anyone's tracking it.
Yeah. Well, I'll scratch my head a little bit, maybe talk to Dave Souter and
Okay,
his thoughts.
all right, that sounds good.
That would be very interesting informational, right?
I was thinking about looking at proposing some different ordinances, so like the split lots. I think Gorham, I think they look at the split lots differently rather than
yes.
it being like all one chunk, so.
Oh, yeah.
The piece
so-
that's at the lake and the piece that's across like a private drive or like, that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do
Yes.
that.
On the uphill side.
They do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they have, you can have a certain amount of coverage on the lakeside.
Right.
It's not just averaged over
Yep.
the whole parcel.
Yep. This is true.
Mhm.
That's like a glaring weakness of their stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And I think another one had an ordinance about if you do any new construction, you have to put in stormwater management. So it's a way to kind of make that happen. I know the planning board can require it, but if it's just in the code, then they're like thinking about that from the start. So
Mhm.
it's just some stuff like that. I was, we've stumbled across some of those things on occasion, so
Have we codified native plantings yet?
we have not. One of the things I had thought about was requiring a landscape plan or statement, because I mean, somebody that lives out on County Road 30 or New Michigan Road, like we were just looking at, maybe it's good enough if they just say what they're planning on doing, maybe not, you know, going the full plan, but then that allows us to kind of have the conversation with people, lets the planning board have that information too, so. I don't think that that's too burdensome for people. I was thinking about some stuff like that.
Mhm.
Did you have any?
I was thinking about putting together a orientation manual for new ECB members. Just
Nice.
going through all the town code, which is exhaustive. And, yeah, and
Good luck.
yeah, and you know, pulling out those regulations, those ordinances, those bits of code that we seem to come across quite frequently
Okay,
in our look at different properties.
that sounds great.
Be practical and something I'd like to have in front of me at all time, and you know, I can contact various people here and yourself, and you know, what you think are the most important, the most useful or common bits of town code.
Absolutely.
And you know, kind of, here's what it says, and here's in plain English.
Right.
So a new member like Mark coming in March or April would have something quick.
Very nice.
Get a new member?
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
Yeah, he,
Nice.
I had gotten contacted and he was chaperoning ski team, I think, if I
Mhm,
remember right.
mhm.
So it was a busy time now, but
Nice.
I saw him at the gym last night. He thought March would be a good time to, as
okay,
soon as the ski
Great.
club winds down. He apparently has at least one of his kids is in ski club. So it's
Okay.
some good dad time.
yeah, he can definitely come to our March meeting and we can talk and see if he's a good fit. I suspect he is. This is the bird person, right?
Yeah, biology and.
Yeah.
All things birds.
All things birds.
All our things,
Hmm.
Great.
Sounds great.
Edith, did you have any ideas?
I am totally blank at this moment. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
That's okay.
If,
You're allowed.
if anyone thinks of anything else, before I have my going to the town board, let me know, 'cause it would be nice to take these ideas along.
The only thing I could think, and it would involve the Parks and Rec Department, is a work party at Ononda.
Okay,
If we can mash together people and tools and equipment, and maybe for those people who are licensed to handle, basically weed killer.
yeah,
And go after some of those clusters of invasives there. I know just be putting a dent in it, would be a nice team builder, and be a good day, and
sure.
I don't know, beer and pizza. I just think it'd be nice to get out in, say,
Yeah.
May when it
Yeah.
warms up. And
Sounds like a great idea.
and get after
They're
some of the.
great,
they-
yeah.
They continue to. grow.
Definitely, that sounds good too. Yeah, people can work on multiple things. It doesn't have to just be one thing.
But I imagine we need to get in the sign off or something like that from various parts of town government, liability and other issues.
It
I
would
was-
certainly be easier doing it in the town parcel, but what we tried to do in the past of coordinating or do something on the offside. And so I would think, but.
Reach out to Lindsay.
Okay.
I think she would be the first step in that chain.
Mhm.
All right. I've gone to a couple spots and just, you know, spent hours hacking and pulling and, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
Guerrilla weeding. Black and my.
There are
face.
great opportunities for cutting multi-floor roads out there.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yes. But if, you know, we had a group of people,
Yeah,
that would be,
Choppers and sprayers.
you know, and maybe every year just identify one part of the park that we could push some of that back, because just the few years, well, 6, 7, 8 years I've been here, I can see the visible growth,
yeah.
the visible spread of these things.
Hmm.
Especially if you want to connect that up with other areas, as they, talk about easements, trail easements and stuff like that. definitely want to get some of that stuff under control and not have it get carried along elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Last year when my wife and I went up and we marked trees and folks a gentleman did a great job of taking them, most every one of them down. That was really, really great to see. The dead, the dying trees and some of the vines. But it really needs a lot of TLC up there.
Very, very nice.
Can we talk about this memo?
Oh, certainly.
Joe, you guys see this? I was all surprised to me to read.
Yeah. That I sent it out, or
Well, I didn't realize,
it came out in
I missed something.
that came out in the planning board, most recent planning board on the 23rd.
Oh,
So I had sent it as the ECB chair. I didn't.
Yeah, no.
include everybody is signing off on it, but yeah, it was the property that we had looked at on Seneca Point multiple times now, the one that had the proposed subdivision and
the cabins.
the cabins.
Yes. Mhm.
They said in the planning board meeting, they have done extensive clearing. So when I had suggested moving their house elsewhere that they had planned in their cabins, that's when
They had already
they had already done it.
cleared, yeah. Well,
So I had sent a memo to code enforcement and the zoning officers and the town planner. And code enforcement said that they would need a complaint submitted, so I did. So they're following up on that.
okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, they had put trails in wide enough for like 4-wheelers and stuff right above Barnes Gully. So, yeah, there was. I forget how much Mike Murphy said that they had cleared, but it was very large.
Mhm.
Getting a lot of backlash from the neighbors.
Uh-huh.
They uploaded a lot of stuff to that application.
What the neighbors, yeah. Yeah. The neighbors were not happy about the plans to begin with, and I don't think that this will help. So, but yeah, it was a
A real eye opener, I bet.
yes.
Well, it was when I started to read that, I'm like, did not know. Yeah.
None of us knew. They told us, oh no, Encore's way out of date. So I went to Google Earth and got shows all.
It does. Spy in the sky.
He's got a nice little tool to measure it out.
Yeah, it does.
It does. So
They actually did, they did logging, it was logged?
there's piles of logs in one of the
Okay.
pictures from Google Earth.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was selected, but
Boy,
they did it on their own.
Yeah,
He'd mentioned it. I don't know if he had brought people in, kept saying but yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. I mean, what was it on the west side of the lake? We had that incident where the steep slopes, he chopped down all the trees
Mhm,
without going through the state or anybody.
mhm.
I mean, that might be a good talking point too. It's just information on that, so people know like, hey, before you
Yeah.
cut, you might want to check. We know it's your property, but it does have an impact.
Yeah, and he would have needed permits through the planning board for this.
because it was in the scenic view shed, what was?
Scenic view shed, steep
Yeah, the
slope
steep slope, yeah.
action area.
Mhm.
And some of that would have been close enough to like Barnes Creek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was talking about trails and stuff. And one of the neighbors had uploaded pictures of their 4-wheeler that had gone down in the gorge at Thanksgiving time. So obviously they're pretty close to the edge in some of these trails. So.
I think I got a topic for the next newsletter.
Okay,
great.
What you can cut and what you can't.
there you go. That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was it was definitely an eye opener and, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I think there's just disturbance. It's only. If you disturb too much, I think it's limited to. So,
Yeah, it's pretty significant, run some tracks going through the property afterwards too.
so,
Okay,
yeah, so that was.
Thank you.
that was- Yeah, that was where that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were we up to? Oh, I had an idea. I know you have a hard time making it. Would starting at 5 help?
Oh,
Would changing this from 4:30 to 5 be a problem for anyone?
No,
no,
Gary?
Probably not. No.
I think because it's in the rules and procedures, I actually need a motion for this and we need to vote on it.
I make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
hi,
So
five o'clock.
starting at March, we'll do
March
5
at
o'clock.
5.
I knew where the 4:30 came from.
I
It's
don't
been
know.
there forever.
Forever.
yes,
Forever.
long
Right.
term, yes.
Sometimes.
Edith, was that your idea that time?
No, it was not. That's just, I think it was Jim Freilig's
Oh,
idea
it could have been.
originally, that far back, yes.
I'm just teasing you.
So I.
It was when I got
Feel
off. the
better
arm.
now, huh, Eric?
I was trying to think how that would, we could help you some, so,
I appreciate that.
yep,
You know, after 2 hours of Tai Chi training, I'm kind of in the zone, and if we're doing sparring or any of the combat based stuff, it's hard for me to segue into.
Yeah,
so, well,
cool.
we will do 5 and I'll let the clerk's office know, because I don't know if they need to announce that at all or anything, so,
It's updating all the schedules for their shoot there.
yeah. So, but I think that will be good. I know 4:30's been hard for me on occasion. I'll be like. So, tree board? Any?
We have not met.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to talk about?
Coming into tree season. Get
What's
your-
it?
Get your order sheets ready with all the local places.
Definitely.
Yes, we are getting there.
Getting the reminders from all the counties I've ever purchased from in the past. So,
All of them, huh? I think Ontario's, what's theirs, March, it's an early March date, I think, is their deadline. If I remember right. Well, if we're all good, we can get out of here. Just need a
Yes.
make
motion
the motion.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Well, have a great February.